this week, you know, as far as the preparation, as far as how the team's looked on the ice, the intensity, I know you've been trying to ramp that up and the speed and everything. How have you felt about the way that the team has looked and come through this?
Good. I mean, I think it accomplishes things where, you know, not speaking about Adam, but players get banged up, bumped up, you know, from wherever, even in practice. I think it just gives them a minute to let their bodies heal and get rest. I think that's important inside of demanding a lot on how you play, to make sure that you have the adequate rest in order to do that. So that was good. We had 3 good practices. You know, they were good. Sometimes it slows down a little bit because you're trying to put in some systematical stuff or things that you might be doing against your opponent. But there's other times too where it's about us. It's about the speed. It's about the pace. It's about the competitiveness. It's about the touches with the puck. And so there's a lot of things that go into it. But similar to prior to the first round, I thought that we tried to make the most of the 3 days and get ourselves ready for game 1.
How would you assess Grandma?
How do you feel, just going off of that, how do you feel like the habits that you guys have established while practicing this season have bode well for you during this time where you're trying to keep that intensity up?
I think that I have no complaints about the way we practice. I mentioned it to the players the other day because when you're coming off of a couple of days off, you decompress a little bit. You got to ramp right back up. And so I think just the way that we've done it all year, it's just how we're expected to go out and practice, and that starts with, I think, a plan that all the coaches help with, but certainly the leadership group and the players, and making sure that you go out and you actually play at that pace or you compete at that pace. And I do think it translates. That was part of the whole thought process going into the year, that we were going to practice and play at a level that we thought could try to make us successful. And I think that the guys, to their credit, have done a really good job of trying to play to that level.
Peter, what's your impression of the way Gensel has assimilated pretty quickly to Carolina, and how much of a linchpin do you see him?
He's you know, it's not just Carolina. He was that same player in Pittsburgh. He's not doing anything different now that he wasn't doing in Pittsburgh. He's a high-end player. He finds areas. He finds ice. He's got a way of contributing offensively that's made him a top offensive player on any team that he's been on. And so it's just, all he did was change the color of his jersey.
You touched on, you know, going back to when you started this, right? And you just said, you know, that the way you practice and all that. The level of professionalism that you've seen from this team, what did you know about? What did you expect from this group? And not even maybe just professionalism, but honesty on how they are playing within their teams as you have meetings.
I mean, I think for the most part, we're pretty honest. We try to be honest. I think they try to be honest. I do think that in practice, as I mentioned before, that they've worked hard. We've never. I think maybe I stopped practice once, but it wasn't because we were real bad. It's because something was going to happen the next day, and we needed to just change a little bit of what we were doing. But for the most part, our guys go out and they compete hard every day, and that sets a standard for how you're going to expect to move each day, every day, whether it's practice or games. And so, like I said, a credit to them, and I said this to them the other day, a credit to them, they've bought into that, and they work hard every day.
Is that normal for you, that you can go through a season without stopping practice, or do you typically have a few of those through the course?
There's always some. Listen, there's been meetings in there where we haven't played well. I mean, I've been honest about that too, and my honesty goes right back to them inside of a meeting. But you're talking a long period of time too. I mean, if you can reach a 95% rate or a 90% rate where you're doing the right things, there's a good chance that good things will happen as well. So I think for the most part they hit the mark.
What kind of steps have you seen Jack Roslovic take in this game recently?
He was excellent in the first round. I mean, the speed that he's playing the game, the puck on his stick, his ability to shift and create, especially with the 2 players he's playing with, has been very good. It's been very noticeable in the first round. So that's over with, and all of us have to reset. But I do think that he's come here and he's provided what we were looking for.
Talking about, you've talked really throughout the season about the professionalism, about how the team prepares. Do you think the team's collective mindset is one of its greatest biggest assets?
Our collective mindset about how we practice, how we play. I think you wake up in the morning and you have a mindset on how you're going to attack the day, and there's multiple roads that you can go down. And some of them are good, some of them are not so good. I think that for the most part, they've come to the rink every day and they've worked hard. I do think that's a mindset, and I do think it's a strength of a team when you can get that.
Do you think it's a particular strength of this team?
I do.
Seemed like.
I don't talk about it, though. You guys do. I just have to answer the question. I'm not trying to make stories here, so.
It seemed like in the first round, you know, your stars were your stars, your strengths were your strengths. I guess as you continue, how difficult is it to maintain that
Yeah.
and to reach the next level that you need to as this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it gets harder and harder just by the playoff process. It gets harder and harder. It gets harder and harder because the competition goes up. You know, we're coming off of a pretty good year, and we're facing a team that had a couple points less than us, and so they're a good hockey team, and they've done a lot of things well, and so there's a lot of reasons why it becomes harder and more challenging to own the game, own what you want to do inside the game, and but that's the beauty of the playoffs.
On that note, when you think about you guys being top three in both power play and penalty kill this season, then being top three in both power play, I mean, do you look at this as kind of a clash of the Titans when it comes to the special teams, just because of how good both teams have been on both sides there?
I think it should be a good series. I mean, I think we've proven what we can do. I think that they've proven what they can do, and here we are. Thanks, guys.